Are we up? Testing, testing. Audio looks good. Sounds good. Here we go. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, we've got an interesting one today. I've been getting emails. I always get emails, but I've been getting emails about the recent streams, about the recent printing streams. I've been getting feedback on the printing streams. People have been enjoying this. I don't know, for the last year or 2 years, I've really been, we can't do printing on stream because I can't get disrupted and it looks repetitive for people and blah, blah, blah. So I've been avoiding printing streams. As you know, it's been a couple of years since we did one. But I've got a ton of emails, a few emails, whatever. People have really been enjoying this and they're finding it useful. So I'll mix this in more from now on. I won't just hibernate down on the first floor and do carving. I'll try from now on to try and get more of a mix and do this. It's kind of trouble for me because the cameras outside. It's like an hour and a half or 2 hours of getting everything set up. But whatever. The other thing that I got emails about was that the other day I did rocks and stones and I said I'm going to do a fish, the gradation and whatever. And people want to see the gradation printing. So what I did was, actually the print was all supposed to be finished yesterday. I finished most of it. 80 of them are finished. They're in the drying boards. They're done. But in order that we see this process, the gradation, I saved 20 sheets from the pack yesterday afternoon. And I didn't do the last 2 impressions on those 20 sheets. So what we have, what's? Paper out. There is no paper out. There's nobody else here today but me. There's a business meeting this afternoon. And I didn't put my paper in last night. Recyclables out. No, but there's nothing I can do about that now. Why didn't you remind me an hour ago? Anyway, long story short, what I've done is I saved 2 impressions. I've saved the key block impression and I've saved the gradation impression, the second gradation. So we're going to see those 2. But I only have 20 sheets of paper. Do it now. No. I mean, it's going downstairs. There's 3 big packs of cardboard. I've got to find stickers, put them on, take them down the street one at a time because it's too heavy. It's 15, 20 minutes work. No. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. So we're going to see gradation here first. Gradation. So given that there's only 20 sheets here, that'll go by quickly. The key block will go by quickly. I've got a little bit of show and tell. Maybe we won't have a 90-minute stream this morning. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If it was this side of the camera, yes, but it's the other side. It would be fun to see Dave struggling down the street with his cardboard on the camera, but no. It's okay, we'll get them out. I got the bottles out last night, but I didn't get the cardboard out. The rule is you can put bottles and cans and stuff out the night before, but they generally ask you do cardboard during the morning, because if it rains, the cardboard is a problem. So what we've got here is this. Here's the before picture. The key block is not done. All the stones are in. We have the fish done. And there's a previous gradation, the green, on top of the fish. And what we're doing today, what I'm doing this today, I'll be putting a gradation, a faint pink gradation, on the bottom of the fish. Who remembers to take their trash out the morning of? We're supposed to. That's the deal. They pick up at 8:30 here, and we're supposed to take the trash out that morning. If you put it out the night before, there's problems with crows, with rats, with cats, with rain. The request is trash out in the morning. Okay, here's the deal. We have pigment. What's the color? I don't know. It's kind of a sort of orange, sort of skin tone, sort of orange tone. And that's enough to do about 10,000 prints, whatever. We're going to use a small brush. It's the red group brush and Important point, there's a dot on the brush marking one side. Absolutely essential, because of course we're going to put pigment at one side of the brush, and if we get it backwards, no way around. Next tool, a piece of, I don't know, we get this from Canada. It's a piece of some workshop stuff. It looks like paper, it's not paper. It looks like cloth, it's not cloth. It's a kind of a mix between paper and cloth. This has been moistened. It's damp now, not wet, damp. And I have a clean tile here, and this is going to sit exactly in that spot and never in a different spot. Not here, not here, not here, not here, not backwards. It sits exactly in the same spot. And if I vary from that spot, call me out on it. And the deal is, this is going to moisten the block and go back on the tile. And if I put it after moistening in a different place, the pigment that's going to build up on this thing will go on the tile and the pigment will move down the cloth. The deal is here, Dave, the rag moved. Yeah, the rag moved. Whatever, whatever. Don't make trouble for me, okay? I'm going to have trouble doing this. I know there's no name. And Sugi-san just uses cotton. She gets a tenugui, you know, the like or the something whatever, and she rolls it up and just puts it there. I'm just, because I'm only doing 20 sheets this morning. If I was doing 200 sheets, I'd perhaps get a block and a cloth. Yeah, it's a shop. I don't know what they're called. We get them from Canada because they don't have them in Japan. I know Amazon Japan imports them from Amazon.ca in Canada. I don't know what they're called. Scott something shop towels. I don't know what they're called, but they're great. They're absolutely great. And we cannot buy these in Japan. Yeah, for you it's probably nothing. For you it's just shop towels. They don't exist in Japan. Anyway, I've been warming up the block while we were chatting and talking. I know me and the mods were chatting about the stream today, possible stuff going on in the stream today while we were warming up. And while we were doing that, I was moistening the block. And what we're going to do is this. We've got the shape of the fish without fins. There was a separate block with fins. This is the fish without fins. And you can see where I put the green gradation on top of the fish the other day. And this gradation is going to go just on the belly of this fish. And what I'll do is we'll do some test sheets on blank paper so you can see, because it's going to be really difficult to see the gradation on top of the fish itself. So let's try this. Let's start a few copies here. Brush very lightly moistened all over. Very lightly moistened. Step one, moisture on the block, no standing water. Let's see, it might take 1 or 2 or 3 impressions to get it built up to a level that we need, but let's see basically what it's going to look like. That's already a bit more than I'd expected, actually. There we are, that's better. That's about what we want. So let's do this thing. And this paper is soft, soft, soft. Ooh, I'll need protection here. I don't have any protection sheets. What did I do with them all? No idea. And I don't know if you even think it's visible. There's just a tone at the bottom of the fish. That's all we want, just a light touch. I really do want one of those sheets, so what have I done with them? Oh, what did I do with them all? There we are. Then something else. If you notice, the paper went on the board here and it flopped here. And that's dangerous. It could get on the pigment here. So we need a block. Here. High-tech. And you see, bit by bit, the pigment is going to build up on this thing. And this is why we want to keep this on the tile in exactly the same place. Could be a bit stronger, maybe. Who could be a bit stronger? What's this? You don't know how to explain it. What's the deal? Panicking about making my brush strokes exactly horizontal every time. I know, exactly horizontal. I'm not quite sure what you mean. We're not making the brush stroke. I'm curving. I'm painting on the block here, actually. Pigment is here. No pigment here. I've got the brush angled. Actually, most of the pigment is off the fish. Yeah, nice, nice. I really, really, really like this. Just an extra touch. People would never actually see it, notice it, but it's a nice part of the picture. Are those standard carved Kinto? The Kinto are carved okay, but they were, in order to get two on one piece of wood, I swiveled it a bit. If I'd done it like this, it wouldn't have fit on the piece of wood. So I was just trying to save wood when I did this. Starting to make carving tools in the forge. That's from starting from scratch. Boy, oh boy, I would like to do that, but that's a thing all by itself, of course, you know. Making your own carving tools. I thought the gradation is top to bottom with no horizontal change. The gradation is top to bottom. This is a gradation. This particular gradation is bottom up. Gradation can be whatever you want it to be. This one is bottom up. There's going to be color at the bottom and nothing up top. Someone's got a link to a print? Put it in, please, please. So here, the pigment is stronger at the bottom and nothing at the top. There's no top-down gradation here. Here's the before. The fish is just green-brown. And here is the after. There's just a tint on the bottom. I can't cope for all this. I know. What I want to do is get the next block ready. We're going to do 2 blocks today, this gradation block, and then we're going to do the key block. I want to get the key block moist with water so it's ready for us to go, but I can't. It's on the back side of this, so it's okay. Today's not going to be a rush anyway. What does the shop sign on Street View say? The one, the black and white, it's Yamaka Shoten. It's a brand new shop that just opened a few weeks ago. Yamaka Shoten. It has no specific meaning. I would imagine maybe it's a guy's name, Yamaka. I don't really know. And the one to the left of it says Ton-chan. And they serve pork dishes. Ton is the pronunciation of the meat, pork. Actually, when I got up this morning, I checked my news to see what the big news that was happening last night. The Tokyo government is trying to decide whether Tokyo is going to go on lockdown. Yesterday they were saying there would be a big announcement last night, lockdown, yes or no. I got up this morning and I got distracted by other news and I haven't checked. So Tokyo may be on lockdown as I speak. If somebody could maybe Google this for me. Did they make the decision last night to do that? Am I technically locked down or am I not locked down? Can I go outside? I don't know. If you can Google around for me. So. The Tokyo governor was asking the central government for a lockdown, and the central government was heeing and hawing because they're worried about economic stuff. And compared to other countries, our numbers of viruses are not so bad at all, but compared to Japan, they're climbing. So whether I'm locked down or not, I don't know. The thing about these gradations is it's really, really simple to do one. What's difficult is to try and get them consistent, because bit by bit by bit, it starts to get away from you. Even if I kept my motions exactly the same. Remember, the pigment is moving inside this brush. So when you're a beginner at this is Dave X years ago. He would do this, and the because I'm a bit rough with it, the pigment moves and moves and moves and moves. And by the time I'm 10, 15 sheets, the pink is up to the back side of the fish here. So out to the sink, wash the brush, start again. So I've got 10 prints with the gradation getting stronger, 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 back to 0, stronger, 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 back to 0, stronger, stronger, stronger. So when you're a beginner, very much gradations are there. They don't end up being the same. So with the experience, what you've got to do is I put on less at the beginning now because the brush is charged. I put on less, and I perhaps brush only 5 or 6 strokes instead of 10 strokes or something. You keep that pigment in place. Don't let it get away from you. I got through this yesterday without washing the brush. I kept it back. I kept it in hand. You've got to take a look at each one, check each one. If you see that coming up farther than it should be coming up, you've got to back off on the next one. What's this, John? Don't let your pigment get away from you. Yes, yes, yes. That's 10 sheets. We're halfway through this impression. This is maybe a short stream. Who knows? No idea. As I said, there's only 20 sheets here today. I finished the previous 80 last night. And you can see on the back of the cloth where this is building up. So the movement must be the same each time, and on the tile the same each time. Is it cold in Tokyo? Not too bad, actually, not so bad. I don't know what it is. 10, 15, somewhere around there? I don't know. It looks clear, tiny bit of overcast, I think. The sky tree is just a little bit above where the camera is there. If I pointed the camera up, you'd see the sky tree. That must have been a garbage truck backing up to show. They plan to declare it on Saturday. Is that the idea? Okay. To give everybody a few days to stock up on stuff. That's great. That means the supermarkets will be jammed today. Let's do a blank one so you can see the shape of this. Yeah, the gradation is subtle. I know, pointless or what, I don't know, but it's part of the game, you know. There's a color there. You can see the tint. There is a difference. I know the pretentious approach is to say that I know it's there even if nobody else sees it, whatever. That's not really the point, but it is there. It's quite nice. It is quite nice. number two, though, also, when you see it by itself, you can see it coming up, 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 up. You can see maybe, you know, 1.5 centimeters of it, but on the fish itself, the upper part is of course invisible. And we have a fish expert here, so maybe I'm getting it wrong as far as real color on a fish. I don't know. So, Mr. Flyfish, maybe what I'm doing is not anatomically accurate. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I could probably get away with doing it stronger, I suppose. I don't know. I'm happy with it like that. Is it a sculpin? Is that the fish? I don't know. The real thing was about this long. It was about 3 centimeters long, like 1.5 inches. I mean, when I saw this fish in real life, we're not talking about a fish this big. This thing was just that big. That's 15 done. There's 5 sheets left of this impression, then we'll move to a different color. You can see then how important it is to keep this thing in exactly the right orientation. How many blocks are in this print? There's 6 pieces of wood on both sides, but it's 15 impressions on this print. And we have a series of images on the net that show the stages of printing on this. I don't have the link handy. Attendez. Just a second. I might be able to pull it up here. Too far back in my history, I don't know. No, it's too far back in my history. No, I don't have a link. There's a... Oh, someone's got it. John's got it. Thank you. How's the cat series going? The cat series is coming well. 2 of them are out and published. The 3rd one is being carved, and that's my work this afternoon, to do more color separation work on the 3rd print in the cat series. Print number 3 is carving at the moment. Print number 4 is going to start soon. Oh, also news. Just a minute. Tell you what, let me finish this gradation print. Three more here, and I've got some news. Remind me about it. Yokai news. Is Cameron here this morning? I don't think he'll be here this morning. Cameron said, are you here? Speak up. Can you, if Cameron, if you're here, can you pop a link into the chat, the one I sent you yesterday about the yokai print? Calling Cameron, paging Cameron. What do you call imprinting texture from the prints, like making the sun pop out? When you print so that the paper is pushed forward, it's called kimedashi. Well, literally pushing out, kimedashi. Okay, one more sheet, one more sheet. So Cameron, too many mails, I get it, I get it, I get it. Too many mails and too many kids. Okay, here's the last gradation. When will my next one be? Who knows? You're talking about kimedashi and karazuri, different things to show. Kimedashi and karazuri are different. Oh, I think I put too much pigment on that one. It's much pinker. Okay, at this point, normally, there are now 100 sheets over here. So I flip this stack, bang, over here to start again. But because today there's only 20, it's just simpler for me to slide it back in like this. But normally, the prints have gone face up, face up, face up, 100, and flip, over she goes. What happens if I make a mistake? Doctors bury their mistakes. What do printmakers do with their mistakes? I don't know. Mistakes in carving we can fix. You go back and change the block. Mistakes in printing, you're pretty much done. If I put the paper on upside down, it's done. It's done. Okay, key block. And something to mention here. Normally in our printmaking, the key block is printed first. Normally, because we have registration. The key is there, and when you're doing the colors, the paper might be stretching, shrinking, stretching, shrinking. You have to do the key first so that you can make sure your registration is okay. This print is different. The key block is not outlining areas. Well, it is a bit. It outlines the fish, but it's okay. There's no registration concern on this print. So I'm doing the key last for two reasons. If I do it first, it tends to blur with all these wet impressions going on top of it. And second, I want the key last because I want the embossed lines of the key block to show in the finished print. And if I did the key first, that embossing would be killed by the flat colors going on top of it. I should be getting this moist. Actually, there's no rush. We're having a very, very slow stream today, so it's okay. Moist, moist, moist. Soak it up. We're going to change the baron. That was a fairly strong baron because I was printing tight on a small flat area. We're going to change it for a smaller, weaker baron. This is a 12-strand, no it's not, it's an 8-strand Goku Hosoi. It's an 8-strand baron, very fine weaving, very, very fine weaving. Then we'll switch out the pigments. This brush is history. We're going to now use a bigger brush for the key block, and it's the hair is longer than I would like, but it's all I have at the moment here. And let's start to warm up this block. This block is going to need a warm-up. Drink, drink, drink. And for pigment, we're going to use a two-stage process. I've got, this is Ayumi-san's bench. And she has on her bench a thick, rich, deep black here. This is made from paste. This isn't just liquid black. This is a what do you call it? A concentrate black paste mixed with water. And if I put this directly onto the block, it would be way, and I mean way too black. So we're going to take this step by step. I've got the rich black pigment, and I've got an extra cup here. This is what I was using last night. We're going to put a bunch of water in here. And I'm going to reach this on camera. We're going to take some of that thick stuff made from the concentrate and blob it in there. So this is dilution stage 1. This is now much more dilute. This is maybe like a calligraphy teacher would put it in front of her students or something. How black is it? How dilute is it? Let's try this. Let's get a piece of paper. It looks black there, but if you can see this is not thick blacky stuff. It's black, but whatever. And we don't want, in this print, I don't want, if you look at the sample I'm working from, we don't want a super jet black outline. It's black, but it's not black. Drink, drink, drink. Just give me a few minutes here. Let this thing drink. Paste. We need a tad of paste, not so much paste, but a tad of paste. Was this block hard to carve? No, it just took time. Nothing difficult about this one at all. It just took time. I know the danger on a block like this is because the lines don't matter. I mean, you're just carving shapes. The tendency is to just hack. So you gotta be careful. The outside borders had to be straight. The line of the fish had to be nice. But no, this just simply took time. All the blocks on this print, you know, this was a time-consuming print. You know, when you look at some of the blocks partway through, you can see what we're getting at here. You know, this just simply took time. It took weeks and weeks to do each one of these. Drink, drink, drink. On yokai news, yes. Okay, too many conversations going on at the same time. Sorry. Hang on a sec. Yes. Hang on a sec. I gotta type in just a minute here. Just a moment. Searching for a URL here. Just a moment, please. Just a sec. Okay, here we go, HTTPS. We're carving them. We're carving them. We're going to make it. We're going to make the set just for fun next week. And I'll color section. I told you she's working on the third cat. She's working on Evening Bell. She's finished the key block and she sent the key block back and she wants color separations. And that's a difficult Shin Hunger print. So I have to work today on more of the color separations. But anyway, to get her going, I did one quick color separation, some backgrounds the other day. And she has one block to be working on. And I have to give her some more, but that's going to take time for me to work out. So quickly last night, I scanned the yokai prints, put them in Photoshop, laid them out as a sheet, got it ready, and bang, it's going to go off to her later today. A piece of wood with the 10 yokai prints laid out on it, and it's 3 colors, black key block, gray background, and the yokai. She'll carve it, and when it gets back here in a couple of weeks, I will print it and we'll do it on stream. It's going to go into our catalog. It's catalog 0464. It's going to go in the catalog. And they're going to be printed in original size. The prints will be exactly the same size as the original, exactly the same size. And they're going to be in one sheet. We're going to put it in the catalog uncut as a sheet of 10. And you can do what you like with them. Exactly how much it'll be, I don't know. We'll see how long it takes her to carve it. It's not going to be all that expensive because it'll just be a single sheet. It'll be like one print. I'm not going to give a number. I got to work it out what it costs first, paper and carving and everything else. But it's not going to be expensive. And we have a slight issue of copyright. And what we're doing is I'm just going to steal the thing. I don't know who designed it. In Japan, the rule is death plus 70. After somebody has passed away, 70 years later, the copyright comes open. The yokai set we have here was published and issued somewhere in early Showa. Showa 10, Showa 15, somewhere around there. Which is like 1930 or something. So we're going to guess that the guy has been dead for 70 years. Of course, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. No idea. 1935, so. Okay, let's get this block warmed up. Let's get it warmed up. Now, the other thing about printing key blocks, and we had this yesterday. I was working here yesterday. Rei-chan was sitting over there doing test printing. Suga-san was sitting there doing key block printing on one of the portraits prints. And she was frustrated because I kept talking and interrupting and chatting with Rei, and she's trying to print a key block. And the problem with a key block is if your block starts to dry, if you take a phone call, your block dries out a bit, you come back to it, you got to put more moisture on it. That print is different from the one before it. So the normal rule about key block printing is you do not interrupt the printer. You keep out of their way. If you come into the room with a message and you see they're doing key blocks, you back off, you run away. So what I'm going to do now is 20 copies of a key block. And I'm supposed to do this by, you guys just watch, I'll keep quiet and do this and go, 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 go with the same rhythm. And that's no fun. Whatever. So. Also, I will need a few tests here to make sure that I'm getting the right color density here. I'll keep some test papers here. Now there's still too much. We're getting the block moistened up here. Not ready to print for real yet. We're getting it moistened up. At the moment, there's still too much water and not enough pigment. But let's just make a couple of tests here. So, too much water, it's coming through the back of the paper. Okay? There's still too much water on the black. We're seeing wet at the back. But the color density is somewhere near what I want. So we're getting closer. We'll just warm it up here, warm it up here. And I'm probably not going to put the pigment directly. The pigment is going on the tile. It came out of the rich one, into the dilute one, onto the tile. I dab as much as I want, and then onto the block. I want to avoid swabbing it directly onto the wood here. That's about our density, I think. The test paper here is just sheets of copy paper. Nothing. This is not washi. It's just copy paper. They're not prints for sale. I'm just simply getting the block ready. It's actually doing not too bad because I used it yesterday and I made 80 prints from this yesterday. So it still actually has got moisture. It's not as thirsty as I thought it would be. Yesterday it was really thirsty, but today it's not so bad. I'm going to be able to do this quite easily today. It was dry, dry, dry. It hadn't been printed in 10 years, you know. I think we can do this. I think we can do this. Let's run. Let's do this thing. Very happy, very happy, very, very nice. That bottom of the fish really makes a nice touch, you know. Beautiful touch at the bottom of the fish. Very happy with this. This was the last print in this series all those years, 10 years ago, you know. It was the final print, the 12th print in the set. So, black but not black. The thing about this is too, most of the movements are fast, you know, quick, 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 get it going before it dries, get it going, quick, 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 but then all of a sudden it switches to slow motion here. Stop. Carefully, carefully, in, lock, down she goes. And then back to more quick movements. Pin it down first, start at the corner, work your way out, away from the kento. Corners, corner, corner, corner. Have a quick look, light spot at the top. Hit it. Quick look, light spot. Hit it. Check for light spots, one here, good to go. Off she comes, finished print. Sorry to ignore you a little bit, I've got to keep my nose down here. And then, as I said, for a normal key block, when you're doing the key for an ukiyo-e print, this is the point now where you just put your head down and you go, go, go with no breaks. That's all it needs. Once you get going, that's all it needs. The thing about the black pigment too is different from the very first block we did. The very first block we did a week ago or so, when you put the pigment on and you print it, all the pigment comes off on the paper, nothing left on the wood. But a block like this, it's mostly empty space. Well, what's the percentage? It's 80% empty space, 20% raised lines. So when I rub the pigment, I'm rubbing the pigment 100% over the block. And when I print and pick it up, we're only picking up the pigment that's on the raised lines. The other pigment stays in the bottom and it gets picked up the next time. So we don't need to put 100% on every time. Just we have to replace the 20% or so that was picked up onto the paper. It took me so long to realize that back in the early days. Depending on how much the density of carving, that's how much you have to put on to replace what was picked up. How often do I need to clean a key block? You mean during the printing or when the printing is done? During the printing, nothing. It's just going to keep going. The brush cleans it as we're doing it. The brush wipes it, lays it out, wipes it, lays it out. So while we're doing this, there's no cleaning necessary. Once I'm finished with this one, I'm going to wrap it up and done. I won't clean it at all because this pigment is so light and fluid. This is very watery pigment. And there'll be nothing left on the surface of the wood but very, very light level of black. If I were using a thick, rich black and it was mixed with glue to get a good glossy hair or something, then yes, you've got to wash it when you're done or the glue sits there and gets hard. This block, nothing. Same as all the blocks. I've been using them this week. I've been using them. You can see what happens. The pigment gets rubbed up. There's no pigment left around, and there's a little bit of pigment left on the outside spaces. Leave it, it's okay. It just sits there, and it helps the next person who prints this, they can see what color pigment you used for this. But if we were using a heavy glue mix, yes, you've got to wash it. The brush gets washed, of course, the dishes get washed. The block, for the most part, can just comfortably sit. Oh, yeah, too much. You know, I can't see it all, I'm sorry. This block is very nice because of yesterday's work. If we hadn't worked yesterday, this block would now be still thirsty, thirsty, thirsty. It would be drying. I'd be putting moisture on and mucking with it. But because it was used so heavily yesterday, this is in beautiful, beautiful condition. It's not thirsty at all. It's not complaining. Once they're done, signatures, once they're done, I will be putting my personal seal on this one. It's a DB seal. Then it'll be embossed. You can't see it under this light, but there's an embossment here. My Baron embossing will be going in that corner. It's there on this one. Then I will date it. I will put January. This is an old one. I'll be dating it and signing it because these are personal prints for me. This is not Mocha Hong Kong Publications. So I'll be sealing it, stamping it, dating it, and signing it. No edition number. Sorry not to be in on all the conversations here. Seems it's okay, right? Lots of answers. Yeah, thank you. Oop, dropped it. Dropped it and broke it. I'm really avoiding putting pigment directly onto the block. When it's so dense like this, if you swab it directly onto the block, it's difficult to push it out into other areas. And if I swabbed and brushed it, those two swab areas would really start to pick up more pigment. So for a block that's so dense with carving everywhere, dab the pigment from the tile, and now it spreads around everywhere much easier. When you got wide open spaces, you can put the pigment in there and it moves quickly to other places. But when there's so much carving, the pigment doesn't move. Fine, this is upside down, there's nothing left here. What's going on? That's the last one. I'm doing heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, but it's supposed to go tails, but that's, oh, I see. Control freak at work. I got two of them upside down here. One of them upside down. I can't bear that. It's got to be all exactly the same way round. Careful, total control freak at work. They've got to be the right way around. It's the attitude. It's the attitude. How come the desk is downward slanted? So that I can keep my wrist straight. If the desk was straight, the wrist would have a kick in it like this, and you'd have tunnel problems in minutes. Excuse me, I got to keep going. I got to keep going, otherwise it dries out. I said it's behaving well, and it is, but I can't abuse the privilege. I can't sit here and chat, sorry. 10 more sheets left, and then we are done. It's 9, we're just about right for show and tell. Okay. You're getting a good view of my bald spot, right? I'm sure my mother is laughing at that. Mom's here, is she? Good morning, Mom. Do I say Mom or Mom? I don't know. You tell me. What have I been saying? Hi, Mom. Mom. How do you spell that? M-O-M? Hi, Mom. M-O-M, I guess. Speaking of the bald spot, there was a funny one yesterday. Again, on the YouTube comments come through to my email. You know, the YouTube gives me a feed of all the comments, and there were two together yesterday. Yesterday was the day before. No, it's yesterday morning. I saw them when I woke up yesterday morning. It was two comments together, totally unrelated people on two different videos. And one person said, I can't paraphrasing, I can't remember. One person said, love the video, love the hair. And then a few minutes later in my feed, I see this from a different person on a different video. Oh my God, Dave, get a haircut, please. You know. So it's both. It's haircut time again, obviously long past. But if we're on lockdown, that's my excuse this time. YouTube comments are fun. Our YouTube comments are so good. They're so nice. Very, very few people are hostile. Well, it's 99.99999% happy comments. So it's one of the pleasures of my day. I wake up, you get the computer, look at it while I'm sitting under the bed covers. And the first thing I do every day is I go to the YouTube comment feed page from my channel. You guys can't see it, but it's a feed I get from YouTube that's got all the comments as they come in on all the different videos. That's how I start every day. And it's so much fun. And I was getting a bit too black. That last one, I'm roaring through here, pouring pigment on, and the black is now starting to climb a bit more. It's a bit blacker than I would like. And if I put less pigment on, it won't be enough on the block. So I'm now going to start to switch out. I'm going to put a tiny dab of water on there. Instead of putting a new full dab of brush. So I'm now going to start to balance. We've got paste, we've got the black mix going on, and we've got bare water now. And that's how I'm going to adjust this as I went through the 80 copies yesterday. Watch each one, watch each one. That's getting a little bit black. Next time use a bit of water instead of using pigment. Because to try and blend it in here, this just is a cup of black, and I can't see what's in there. I could put a bit of water in here, but then I can't go back. So for now, from now on along the run, I'm going to control the density by varying the amount of black and water directly. We've only got a half a dozen left, so it's no big deal, but that's what would happen if it was a major run here happening. And this is our pride, you know, when we get to the end of the stack, our pride is that they should all be as close as possible. They should be exactly the same. There's no artistic decisions happening here. That was done before. When the sample was made, that was when the art was done. This is now just technique. I say just technique. This is straight technique. Okay, that's pulled it back a little now. The black is now closer to the one where I started. If I hadn't been careful, it can get away from you. Blacker, blacker, blacker. It's like your kid growing up. You don't notice them until all of a sudden they're way taller than you thought they were. Speaking about the artistic decisions, Lei-chan, for the past couple of days, she's been sitting at the bench across from me here, and she's been working on the color testing for print number 3 in this year's subscription series. And she's made a ton of variations. She's done blue background, red background, yellow background, light, dark. This is a print of a falcon, and she's done dozens and dozens. Ishikawa-san did a bunch on whatever day it was, Tuesday. Lei-chan did some yesterday. And tomorrow, they're coming over. We're going to have a little meeting, and I have to decide which one to do with. A from here, B from here, C from here. So I'm going to be the one calling it. And once I've called it for her, away they go. They'll start printing the 3rd print in this year's subscription series. The first one's already done, finished, wrapped up. It's shipping already, of course. Second one is printing. Kubota-san starts another batch on Saturday. And the 3rd one will start tomorrow. I love the pink, you know. Honestly, I really like that gradation we did. Four sheets left. 4 sheets left. The white van part gets a cleaning company, SaniClean. Maybe you've heard of Duskin. Their biggest competitor is SaniClean. It'll be a company. He'll be delivering, floor mats and stuff like that. And maybe, they're changing out the paper towels in the bathroom at one of the bars or something. I don't know. It's a rental company. There it goes. It's a cleaning / sanitizing company. Sun's shining. It's a nice day. There's a bit cloudy. I can see a cloud through the window there. But it's a nice day. Also, tiny problem. You see this? Too much liquid on the block. It's coming through the back a little bit. That's a symptom of too much actual watery liquid on the block there. It should be visible from the back, but it shouldn't come out to the back surface. So cut it down a bit, Dave, here. Don't put quite so much on the brush this time. There's water on there, black water. 3 sheets left. Looks like we're good for time. It's show and tell time, but I got 3 sheets left, so just a minute here, just a minute. Okay, last one. Last one. I think we've timed this very well today. Sometimes ink goes on the brush. We sometimes do this. Oh, that could be possible too. I'm not doing it that way today. Before. And after. And there we are. She is done. She's done, she's done, she's done. When did we start this? I think last Thursday, right? I started it last Thursday, I think. It's 15 impressions, and for the most part, I was doing 3 impressions a day. I took Tuesday off to do other work, left it in the freezer. So I think it was 5 days' work altogether. Not counting this morning, because this morning's work should have been done yesterday, but I kept it for the stream. These will now be air dried for a few minutes. I can't leave them out, otherwise they'll go wrinkly. They'll be air dried to lose about half of their moisture, and then they go inside the pressing boards to get rid of the last bit of moisture. And the 80 sheets I did yesterday are already in the pressing boards. Done. Done, done, done. 9:20, do we do a show and tell? When I designed it, do I plan for the key block to be last? Yes, of course, absolutely. Experience, experience, experience. Done. Okay, the next stream will be, of course, back downstairs. But, as I said, we have a little bit of show and tell. We have a leftover show and tell from the other day. A week or so ago, do I calendar my paper before or after sizing? It depends. It depends. No, before sizing. After sizing. Absolutely after sizing. But before or after moistening. We can calendar it before moistening, and we sometimes calendaring it after moistening. But after sizing, yes, always after sizing. Is the outside mic too noisy? Crows? I can't hear the crows. I can sort of hear them, but not so much. Yeah, it's 12 pieces of wood, 15 impressions. I think 14 impressions, 12, 13. I don't remember. Okay, a short little casual show and tell here. I may have to move the camera. In fact, I think I will have to move the camera. Earthquake, earthquake. Okay, we saw the first part of this the other day. This was a package I received of prints from an old Kyoto workshop, and we saw half of what was in here the other day. Let's have a look at the other half today. Remember, we opened it up, we saw some postcard prints, and we still have to organize a giveaway. This is not forgotten, just let me get to it, But the other part of what was in this package, this is clearly from it's either from a publisher's leftover stock or it's from a printer's leftover stock. And there's going to be a bit of confusion here. Recently I've been talking about match label prints. I've shown you match label prints that were a matched size and they were made for collectors. That tradition had roots in real matchboxes. The real matchboxes came first. Every bar had to give matches to their patrons and stuff like that, and bars got in the habit of printing the bar name and a picture of a naked girl or whatever it was. And they were made in the early days by woodblock prints. So the collectible match labels had their roots in real physical matchboxes. And we see here, this is woodblock print prepared not for collectors, but for putting on actual boxes of matches. And you can see how this works. They printed it 2-up. They carved a wood block and they printed it like this. Then after it was printed, it would be cut like this. And you can see how the folding would work. That's the side of the matchbox, that's the front of the box, and that's the back. So this is not a collectible item. This is something that was actually a portion of Tokyo's printing business. Nothing to do with woodblock prints as art or collectibles or anything. This is simply the printing business, which of course is the roots of everything I'm doing today, the prints I made today. Back in the old days, it was the printing business. Now the kanji here is stylized, and I cannot read the name of this bar. It's in Kyoto actually, so. Oh, it's a main house and it's two. It may not be a bar. This may be a tea house / restaurant. But same thing, it's clearly a matchbox cover. And everything you see here was carved and printed in woodblock. And that's clearly, it's their logo or something, an old kind of seal. The name and address, phone numbers, and then a decorative Mount Fuji. And they're doing it 2-up. So this will be carved twice. It's actually carved twice. And this is fun too. If you're sort of collecting prints or things like this, and you get one, and you might get another one of the same one, you think they're the same. But when you look at them closely, wait a minute, the carving is different. It must have been a different edition or something. Quite often, they were carved 2-up. So you might get one, and then later on get another one, and the carving is different. Is there mica powder? Yeah, it's a speckly. There's a bit of speckle been tossed across the sheet, if I can find an angle here. I can't get, there it is. Got it. There's a shiny. There's a speckle. The last step, they've thrown some mica powder across it. No, this is 4 printings, 4 colors. 5 colors. There's a blue border, and it's different block from the Mount Fuji, because you can see the overlap. So there's a blue, a blue-gray, a black, and a gold. And the gold must have originally been printed with a shiny pigment. Anyway, at this rate, I'm never going to get through these things, but let's have a look at some of these. Now, some of these, now this is woodblock also. As I said, because it morphed, at some point it became too expensive to do these with woodblock, so they switched to commercial offset printing. And some of the ones in this pile may turn out to be offset. I don't know. We'll have a look. We'll go through. The bar Setsuko. These are Kyoto. It's all Kyoto. That's the Japanese. Setsuko, the bar's name. Setsuko. Oh, look at this, look at this. Same thing also. Not only in bars, but you go to a bank branch, try and make your money transfer, sit down and wait, and there'll be a tray there. Help yourself, matches. This is also a matchbox cover for 2. Slice it this way. See how this works? Front of the matchbox, the spine of the matchbox, and the back. Sit down at your bank, make your bank transfer, sure, pick up a freebie, a box of matches from the Daiwa Bank. When is this happening? This is pre-war. I can't give you any date more than that. It's pre-war. Oh, actually, there is something that will give us a hint about that. I got to skip down. We're almost out of time here, but let me skip down. Let me skip down. Let me skip down. Not only matchboxes are in this package, but there are also some postcards. Which is it that way up? Which way up is it? I don't know. There are also some postcards, and that's going to give us a hint about the date here. postcards, postcards, postcards. Here we go. And this next two, how's your kanji? Kanta, are you here? Anybody can read this? I'll give you a hint. Now can you read it? It says ushi. And there are two postcards here with the ushi symbol, which tells me that this batch of prints probably dates from, let's work it out. Ushi is, next year's, this year's Inoshishi, next is Ushi, 1970, no, let me think about this. 2023 is Ushi? Go back 12 years, 12 years, 12 years, 1949? 1962? Give me a date. Give me some dates. What's the zodiac here? Come on, guys. Do your Googling. Do your Googling. What were the cow years? 2021. This year's a cow? That's right. It is. It is. It is. Okay, go back. This must be easy. So go back 10. No. 24. No. 1971 would be a cow, right? This could be 1970, 1973. Okay, here we are. Someone's got the list. Okay, here we are. These prints are not 1937. 1949, that's actually possible. 1949. 1961, 1973, no way. 1961, I don't think so. 49, there's our guess for these, 1949. Don't quote me, but that's my guess on when this batch of prints will be based around. What you could also do, too, is someone who is really interested in this, they go to some old telephone books and you find out when the bar set scope was in action. Anybody wants some match labels from the Daiwa Bank? Anyway, into the collection. Here, this one's Osaka. And this is a bit different. It's the same thing. This will just be stuck on the front of a box of matches. This doesn't wrap around. And look at this. He carved it 6 times. The carver carved it 6 times. The same thing. The same picture, the same trees, the same river, the same boats. It's carved on one piece of wood 6 times. And the printer then goes bang, out, bang, out. Instead of the printer printing little ones. This was carved 6 times. And if you had 6 of these matchboxes, you could see the buildings would be just a little bit different each time. This is cool for our collection. This is not art. This is the commercial printing business, the very last legs of the woodblock era, before it all went out to offset printing. Here we go. Again, wraparound matchboxes. The front cover, the spine, and the back cover. And that part was not carved. That's printed with katsuji on a normal metal type. That wasn't carved. This is an no, it's not an insurance company. The address here, Daiichi Seimei Biru 12 kai. Wait. The Daiichi Seimei building, it's the insurance building. It's where General MacArthur had his headquarters in Tokyo. No, this will be Osaka. Let me see, in Tokyo, the Daiichi Seimei building was only 6 or 7 stories high, but maybe in Osaka it was higher. This will be Osaka. And this will be a club/bar in Osaka. These could be dated. You've got enough businesses here. Just find the dates and phone numbers. It would be an easy, trivial matter to figure out when these were made. This is a Ryoria. This is a Ryote. It's a restaurant in Kyoto. It'll be a high-class restaurant, and these are matchboxes which would have been passed out to their customers. Wood flock printed matchboxes. Why do some have cut corners? I don't know. I think it's just on all. Remember, that's all going to be waste after the day. I don't think they cut their corners like we do. The printer showing this is one with a mistake. I don't think so. I don't know. No idea. And I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's just to go on the front of a matchbox. And these were not printed, this wasn't carved 6 times. This was carved 3 times. And the piece of paper was then printed twice. And you can see, you watched me do it a few minutes ago. There's the stain on the registration on the Kento corner and the Shikitsuke, the straight line. So the printer would have printed it on 3, 1, 2, 3, rolled the paper around and printed it again. So this one is not carved 6 times. This one is carved 3 times, and the paper is printed heads and tails, heads and tails. There we have it. Trivial little stuff, nothing to do with art. Just an example of woodblock prints being used for commercial printing back in the day. Nothing like that happening now, of course. Absolutely nothing like that happening anymore at all. So there we go. These go into our collection. And because we've got so many extras, as I said, I've got to try and work out some way of passing some of these out. So just hold on, give me some time to work on that, and we'll do something. We'll do a giveaway of some kind. Okay, it's Thursday morning. I will be back here Saturday morning, and I will not be up here on the 3rd floor. I will be downstairs. I will be back carving Saturday morning at the usual place, usual time, usual station. But from now on, I will try and incorporate more printing episodes into our streams. Absolutely. It's too much fun. I was just thinking I really just can't do this, but I will try and incorporate more printing into the streams. Okay, I'm out of here for 2 days. I'll be back Saturday morning, locked down or not. I won't be able to tell. Who knows? I'll talk to you at that time. I'll leave the street scene running here for 1 minute or so. Thanks very much. And thanks for behaving today. There's been some very difficult news for many of us today. And thank you very much for behaving and keeping this a clean, friendly stream. And best wishes for all my friends in America. And let's try and get through this thing. Thank you very, very much for your cooperation on this. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. Counting down. 5, 4. Thanks again. 2, 1. Away we go. Good luck to you all. Thank you.